Hey you guys, welcome back. Today's message is about fornication, sex, and lies. We all know that fornication means sex. I just wanted to say another word. We're going to take a deep dive into the word fornication and how we know it's from the devil. Fornication means sex between two people who aren't married. I myself have indulged in quite a bit of fornication in my little bit of years on earth, but I realized that was something that my flesh wanted to do. God says that they that are after the flesh mind the things of the flesh, but they that are after the Spirit, the things of the Spirit. And that's Romans chapter 8, verse 5. And it also says in verse 13, for if ye live after the flesh, ye shall die. But if ye through the Spirit do mortify the deeds of the body, ye shall live. In order to live a spiritual life, we must kill the flesh daily. If fornication is keeping you from God, you need to kill your flesh by rebuking it daily. I usually say this. I say, I rebuke my flesh in the name of Yeshua and I cast it into the lake of fire. I rebuke my flesh in the name of Yeshua and I cast it into the lake of fire. And I say this continually because it renews my mind to think of things in the Spirit. And it says in 1 Corinthians chapter 6, verse 13, and I'm saying the ending of this verse now, the body is not for fornication, but for the Lord, and the Lord for the body. So when you come to Yeshua, when you come to him, your body is now his. He will treat you right. You don't have to worry about sleeping with someone in order to feel like somebody's going to treat you right. And it says in verse 17, but he that is joined unto the Lord is of one spirit. That means that you are no longer living in your flesh, you're living in the Spirit. So what must we do? What do? We must flee fornication, as it says in verse 18. A sin that a man doeth is without the body, but he that committeth fornication sinneth against his own body. I know you don't want to sin against yourself. You love yourself, right? Okay then. You want to be right in your own eyes, right? But God is the one that you want to be right for. So fornication is not right for you, and you need to stop. If you need help with learning how to rebuke Satan's attacks against you, please send me an email. I'll be more than happy to help you with that. That's my job. Now, of course, we know that fornication is basically sex, but where do the lies come in? What does sex have to do with lies? It has a lot to do with lies. It has a lot to do with it, actually, to be honest, because we lie to ourselves to think that we need sex more than we need God. And when you think that you need something more for your flesh than of your spirit, then the relationship is cut off. You have no relationship with God. You can't please God because you're lying to yourself. You're lying to yourself that you're still a child of God, although you still committed sin. You're not a child of God if you're still committing sin. If he hates sin, then you know you're not a child of God. In Proverbs chapter 6, verse 19, it says, a false witness that speaketh lies, and he that soweth discord among his brethren, this is an abomination to the Lord, and this is something that the Lord hates. The Lord doesn't just not want you to do this. He hates that people lie, because he said, out of the abundance of the heart, the mouth speaks. So if you lie, if you have lies in your heart, if that's all you do, you are far from God. You are not even his. Whatever you think you're close to with the Lord, you're not there, because you're still lying, and you have to look at yourself and say, why do I lie so much like this? Why is this something that I seem to want to lie about all the time? What is the root cause of the reason why you're lying? Now, we all know that God works on each and every one of us, but in order for the work to be quicker, you have to be willing to change. And I'm going to give an example of me lying to myself. For a long time, I would quit jobs, and I would just do it out of the blue. I would just quit a job, and for the longest time, I couldn't understand why I would quit a job. I always thought it was something that had to do with the job, but really, it had something to do with me. I couldn't understand why the job didn't fit me. And until one day, I was praying to God, and I was telling him, like, hey, I want to be able to tell so-and-so about X, Y, and Z, and then it clicked in my head that the reason why I left jobs the way I did was because that was how I dealt with the first problem that I could not handle, which was my mother dying. I didn't know how to handle it, so I thought I was going to run away, and I walked out the house, but then the Holy Spirit kind of, led me back to the house, and I was sad about it, but I'm glad the Holy Spirit led me back. And as I grew older, walking away from things just kept being the coping mechanism that I would use. That was the only thing I knew how to do, because I didn't want to get angry with people and I didn't want to hurt people, so I just would walk away. And I would used to be like, oh, I can't deal with this, and the only thing I know how to do is run away. I was lying to myself, basically. Yep. I was lying to myself that there was no other way for me to handle the situation. And once God showed me the reason why I would run away like that, I began to seek Him. I began to seek Him for ways to cope instead of lying to myself. I just lying to myself, telling myself I can't do whatever it is. You know, you guys just know that Yahweh is always with you. He's always with you. So you don't have to lie to yourself. You don't have to be anything other than what God has called you to be. I also lied to myself for a long time about my calling, and I lied to myself a long time about God not wanting me and God not needing me because I'm not perfect, and that I walked away from stuff that He's given me, but He said, I still need you. He said He still needs me in my imperfection so that He can be glorified. And I ask today that you guys go and seek the Lord about any fornication you are committing or any lies that you have been telling yourselves or telling other people, just to maintain the lifestyle that you have. If you've been lying to maintain a lifestyle you have, I say that you give those things to Yeshua in the mighty name of Yeshua. Break those chains of fornication, break those chains of lies off your life, so that you can live a life fully and abundantly in the presence of God. You guys be blessed.